3.
Am I going to sit there and argue with you over we had steak 2 days ago, I want chicken?
B.
I'm going to be spicy all of the time. I don't care if I'm single or not.
C.
I think that the foundation is how you were brought up.
3 Black Chicks on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Welcome in to 3BC, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. I am your host, Jae Henderson, and my 3 black chicks for today are Tiasha, Toniece, Stephanie Gatewood, and Marlene McGhee. I just want to say thank you to the host for these wonderful mimosas that we have been sipping on, ladies.
Thank you.
And the refreshments.
So good.
We truly appreciate you. You know, women like to be fed.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
We like to eat.
Now, I want to ask you ladies a question. You know, I would say that everyone in this room is successful. And in this day and age where women are encouraged to get their own and be able to take care of ourselves, do you still think that it is important or even appropriate for women to ask a potential boyfriend or husband to be able to provide, or not necessarily provide, to have a certain high standard of income?
Yes. 100%.
Especially when we are able to pretty much take care of ourselves.
It doesn't matter. A man's job is to provide. That's one of the essential things for them.
That's
the same way, that's like saying, do men and women have roles in a relationship?
They do.
100%.
I believe that.
Because men have a responsibility. My daddy always said that what you take responsibility for, you will provide for.
That's right.
And so I'm 100%, I believe that no matter how much money I make, and I'm glad to be able to make it because that means that I don't have to take so much. But at the same time, not saying that you have to make more or equal, but you yet have to be a provider.
That's right.
So you would not date a man that say, let's just say he makes $25,000 a year. You wouldn't want to date him.
Can he provide for me at $25,000 a year?
That depends on where you want to live.
No, well, it has nothing to be. Provision has nothing to do with where I want to live.
Right.
Okay.
Provision saying that realistically, because we always want to be in this fairy tale, like if I love him and he good and bad and everything, that he can make 20. No, baby, because at the end, see, it's
not
more
even
to
necessarily
it than that.
good and bad, but he's kind to you. He treats you with respect. When you get done showing all these houses all day, he's there with your bath water ready and rubbing your feet.
I can rub my own bath water, baby. You know what I need you to be able to do when the light bill due? And I have to look over at you. Like my sister tells me all the time, and I hate to throw her under the bus this way, like, your standard's too high. No, my standards are not too high. Because before I lay next to you and we both our heads hurting about how we're going to pay the rent and the utility bill, I'd be there by myself worrying about it. If you there, then I don't need to be worrying. And I'm real strong about that.
But what if he got half of it?
Baby, I could do half with you. And I ain't got to lay with you tonight. I just pay my half, you pay your half, we meet in the kitchen. Like, my best friend and I, we say that all the time, we're both single. At the end of the day, she gonna get the east wing and I'm gonna get the west wing. And then we'll hang out in the middle of the day because before I half it, because that's not providing, I have a roommate. And I ain't got to wash their clothes, cook for them, or sleep with them.
I just don't believe in 50-50. I believe in 100%. I'm going to bring 100% to the table. You bring your whole 100%. I mean, when it's 50-50, that means you're broken. That means you need to go and heal somewhere in a corner in your room or meditate or whatever, because I don't want a half of a man. I want a whole man.
So his income determines how whole he is?
No. I was just saying, she was saying she don't do 50-50, and she said not half, and that's why I was like 50-50. But no, to me, I feel like I'm different. I feel like if you treated me the way that I need to be treated, and you're responsible, and that you will provide, and you do provide, just because you may have a lesser income than that might be the season that we're in now, because together we can get a lot more done than apart. That's just how I feel. So when you come into a situation with me, when I pick you, it's not about your income. I didn't pick you because of your income. Not at all. I picked you because I saw that you were responsible, that you were the king, that you conducted yourself as, the type of man that I would want to lead and head me.
So income is not as big of a factor with you.
It's still a factor, I think.
It's not a jumbo factor, no, because we can make money together. I know I'm a hustler, baby. And so I upgrade things. So I can upgrade your income. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Stephanie, what do you think?
So I think it's circumstantial. I think that I do,
Yeah,
and I think that sometimes in life, everybody needs help. I obviously don't go into a relationship basing it on your income or your level of income, because any one of us could be at a lower level. I think it has all things weighting properly. I think that has something. It's a matter of putting all things together and what makes the man whole.
Right.
I say, and I'm a giver. That's what I do. I've always been a giver.
Yeah.
I'll have your back if you have my back. It's respect. It's honor. I do get all of those things, but I think that at the end of the day, it shouldn't be a diminishment of who that person is.
Right, because of their income, right? Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. You are listening to 3BC, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. But there's such a thing as stability.
Yeah, it
is.
And stability brings about comfort.
Yes.
It brings about security.
Yes.
And I don't think I've never heard a woman say I want a broke man.
Right, right.
I've never heard that.
Not at all.
And
I ain't gonna take one. Like I'm sorry, I've done that before.
Yeah,
like
I don't want a broke man
been with
either.
somebody that did not have as much. It creates resentment. My brother told me when I started dating him, and I was offended by him because I'm like, oh no, he's nice. He love me. He like me. Oh, he made me feel good. And he was like, he don't know how he got you, and he don't have a clue about how he gonna keep you. Because one thing that's essential is a man's job is to protect and provide, and when he can't provide, that builds up resentment.
Right, and that
because I still want to go, because you can't go, I don't want to go.
That's
now
usually,
I gotta take you.
I mean, a man's ego is normally attached to two things. One is his income. The other one is his penis. Right? It's attached to those two things. And if you get to the restaurant and he doesn't have enough and you pull out your card, some men are going to feel some kind of way, whereas other ones will be like, shoot, you got it.
It ain't for me to have it.
See, and that's another thing. I'm not wanting to have a man that can't fit his own. He has to be responsible for himself first and foremost before I want to date him. So that means that his situation has to be mandated by him, and he has to be covering all things in his life. Because I'm covering him for myself. So if he's not doing that, then no, I don't want to attach to him. He needs more work. He needs to go do things for himself. He needs a relationship with himself right now.
Literally, I heard this story when I was in my early 20s, and I think I heard it from like a pastor, but they told the story of how the female ego picks her mate, and I've always been fascinated by that.
Enlighten us.
No, literally, and I'm gonna paraphrase it because it's been some years since I heard it, but literally they said that she takes a branch and she flies it up into the air and she drops it, a lightweight branch, and he has to fly and catch it.
Okay.
And then she takes a branch. I think the first branch is equal to her weight. The second branch is equal to her weight and the weight of a baby eagle. And then the third branch is greater than that. And so before she will even entertain him, he has to prove to her. She flies higher and higher and drops the branch. And he has to prove himself worthy of her. That's an animal. So as a woman, you don't think any more of yourself than that a man doesn't have to bring anything to the table because he say you pretty, because you cute, because he lay down real good.
But he still can't. It shouldn't just be money.
But he has to be able to provide, and a part of providing, like the conversation of finance is always so taboo, like, you this, you that. No, it's real.
That's right.
It is.
It's
a real
You're the head, so how can you not be the provider?
If I'm going to follow you,
I have to.
And you can't even keep the lights on. You can't lead me, and I'm not saying it's all financial, because sometimes leading me is just the intellect of it.
Yeah, it's sometimes
it's having the resources. Sometimes it's having enough intellect to maneuver.
Sure.
But a lot of the times in our society, the money got to come to the table. That's just the bottom line.
Well, you're right about that. You're right about the money, but I also just think that when it comes to money, that shouldn't be the cure all. And it's just got to be the money.
It can't be just the money.
Well, it lends itself to quality of life.
Yes.
We all have a certain quality of life that we want. Can we afford to stay in a safe neighborhood? Not necessarily an affluent neighborhood, but a neighborhood where I don't have to worry about people kicking in my door when we're not at home, hearing gunshots. Oh, shoot. I'm not supposed to have this on the table. Ooh,
That's okay.
So my question, Jay, is what happens when he's at the top of his pinnacle and things happen in life that take him off of that, and then he has to be...
No, that's
then you
different.
have to be your.
I mean, because illness can come into play.
Sure,
he may lose his job to no fault of his own.
Right.
I mean, those are different things.
And now you're his helpmate.
And hopefully, you all are in a position where you have had some money saved up so that it doesn't hurt as much.
Right.
But there are plenty of people that's happened, and their wife left them.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, she got tired of struggling.
Yeah.
This was not the life that she signed up for.
Right.
But she said better for worse, rich or poor.
That's what she said.
So I don't know what life she signed up for, but hey, sometimes women make a lot of money and they tend to put men down that don't make as much money, but they also attach themselves to that man. And to me, sometimes it's because it's an insecurity about that woman that causes her to go and get a man that she feels more empowered financially than. And so it gives her a sense of I'm this, that, and the other, when in all actuality, she doesn't even want that type of man because she can't respect that type of man. And I just think that it shouldn't be your money that lends a person respect. It shouldn't be the amount of money or whatever that gives. And yes, a man should be able to provide, and he can provide even if he makes less than you. Is it all about him paying your bills as far as the, making sure that the food is on the table, making sure the utilities are paid, making sure the rent is done, making sure the car note, the insurance, making sure food is in there? Is it that, or is it that you want such an elaborate lifestyle?
No, providing, I think, is the basics. Like, you got to be able to do, and I say this because I've been married and I have owned my own house before I was married, ran my own situation before I got married, and when I got married, then I had to adapt to the dynamics of that marriage. And in which was similar to the way I came up. Right. My father provided for our household. Right. My mom did everything else. And I'm going to tell you this, to the point that my husband made good money and I was just starting my career. And it's always a funny story because I remember when he would tell me, do what you want to with that little money you make. He's like, buy Lane some clothes and do what you want to with that little money you make. Until my husband took sick, that little money I made never came into play. And when he did and he could not, then that little money that I made was very, it made a difference. That's right. So I see it from every side, but I still go back to, because I've done that, tried to see like, oh yeah, him love me. Yeah. I know he don't make that much money, but it does, it causes, because it builds resentment, because essentially a man has a desire to be needed. A man's job is to provide. And we don't ever want to address it because we don't want to never say nothing about no money because we want to feel like we're not a gold digger. Baby, let me tell you something. Put whatever label you want on it. At the end of the day, if you want to be with me, you're gonna have to provide. Right. I think that you should provide. No romance without finance. And not just in a financial just be for way. Real. You should provide in every holistic. Yes, it's not one aspect, but we can't take the finances out because people don't like to talk about it. It don't sound good. It. Yeah. That still gotta. I told a guy the other day, I said, I'm gonna need your credit report. I'm gonna need your bank statement. Let's put all this stuff on the table.
Do you give him yours?
Is that even realistic?
No, but do you give him yours?
So ask him, man, what's your credit score?
Right. I don't want to.
I mean, that stuff. No, that's the stuff when you're looking at marriage. Yes. That's the stuff you bring. Like, say you date somebody, they have a job. You know they have a good income. Yeah. But they're in debt. I need to see everything that you owe. So I know how much we have to pay off.
That's when you're in that thing for real.
When you're really in it, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that those are like conversations that you truly have to have.
You
because,
have to.
Like,
Because you don't want to be blindsided by that.
No, not
at
you know,
all.
as you get up in age, you'll start, because men have kids and they got some child support and they got this and they got that.
Yes.
And like, I mean, I want to love you too, but I ain't signed on to no.
Do all that.
I'm so sorry.
You
To take
need
care of your
yeah.
kids. That's what you're saying.
I'm going to love them now. I'm going to love them 100%. But, I mean, we may need to wait till that baby is 18 years old before we can go on to something.
We can just shack.
No, we ain't got to shack.
She said, nah.
Keep your place, let me keep mine.
Right, 'cause we don't need no problem.
Because, let me say this. Women have to come to the table with something, too.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
agree.
not a one-way street. Like,
That's right.
Men expect us to come to the table with something. Like, they don't want just a woman that can lay in the bed. I mean,
No.
like, they can get that, too.
Anywhere.
2 times on Sunday.
Yes.
So we have to come to the table with something. There are things that they have an expectation for. Women need to stop shadowing themselves down and say, like, we don't have any expectation, because you get what you put out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta have nothing to be with me. Just come on and did it. No.
No, that's a woman that just wants companionship.
Right.
And that gets old after a while. If you always have to go pick him up, you need to give him bus fare.
Right.
You go to the restaurant, you have to pay for food. You don't have a man at that point. You have a child.
Right.
You have a grown child that you are providing for, just so you don't have to lay in bed at night by yourself. And I feel sorry for women like that.
Yep.
Well, I don't feel sorry for them. That's their situation, and they choose it. I don't feel sorry for a person like that. Well, now, what I do feel,
I feel sorry because they don't know their worth.
Well, that's the part. Now, there you go.
That's
now,
why I
there you
feel
go.
sorry.
That's good. Now, that was good. Now, that was great. Now, that part, yes.
Why,
all
thank
day.
you.
And that was great. I like that. I love that, Jay. What I was going to also say is that oftentimes what we do is we don't, like you said, know our self-worth, and we'll get with someone and we think that we can find that happiness that we've been looking for. We can find that value in ourselves through someone else. Or we can just, if I could just get a man, everything's going to be okay. If I could just, and that's not the truth. If you can just get a grip on who you are in life, if you can just get a grip on loving yourself, if you can just get a grip that you're all you need, really, you know, and God will send someone, or even if you don't believe in God, the universe will send you someone.
I mean, if you just want a man, that's easy. It's plenty of them up under a bridge
my God,
somewhere.
Right.
I mean, they standing on a corner. They laid up in the mental hospital. If you just want a man, that's okay. I mean, you just want some nuts to hang. I'm fine. Go right in. That's easy.
It is. It is easy. It is.
But
easy.
you are listening to 3BC, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network.
3BC, hosted by Jae Henderson, recorded at KUDZUKIAN Studios, directed, produced, recorded, and distributed by KUDZUKIAN.
Riffin' on jazz.
When two friends get together to kick it,
About jazz, it's called Riffin' on Jazz.
catch us riffing on jazz every week right here on your favorite broadcast or podcast platforms.
Riffin' on jazz on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN.